How's it going, guys? So up until this point on the channel, we've talked a lot about can a modified 5.7 liter Hemi keep up with a 6.4 liter stock Scat Pack. Now, I think the reason that we usually touch on that topic, and a lot of people do, is because as Mopar guys, we have a definite gauge, we have a reference that we know how quick a Scat Pack is, how quick that 6.4 liter Hemi is. So when you want to compare yourself as to how much you've improved your 5.7, it kind of seems like a natural comparison. It's really easy because as Mopar guys, everybody kind of gets the relative quickness of that combination. So today on the channel, I want to focus on something a little bit different. I want to focus on, can a 5.7 liter Hemi that's modified slightly keep up with a 6th gen Camaro SS? I know a lot of you 5.7 guys who are a little bit on the fence about modifying your car have probably given that thought in the back of your head, okay, if I put a cam in my 5.7 Hemi and a set of long tube headers, would I be able to keep up with a 6th gen Camaro with a 6.2 liter LT1 engine? And don't get it twisted, those SS Camaros are no slouches whatsoever. But today we're gonna answer that question. So to start out with, I just wanna give Chevy a little bit of credit here. I know that's weird coming from a Mopar guy, but I do want to give Chevy a little bit of credit. I honestly believe that if Chevy hadn't put out such a good engine in their 5th gen Camaro, and the Camaro finally came back after that hiatus and really pushed the Challenger SRT8, I don't know if Dodge would have came out with a 6.4 liter Hemi. They might have stuck with the 6.1, making 425 horsepower and just left it at that. But the 5th gen Camaro performed really well and was a fair bit lighter than the Challenger platform. So Dodge was having a hard time keeping up. So logically, what do? They threw a bigger engine in their top of the line SRT8 car, which was the 392. I think without that competitive push from Chevy and even Ford, I don't know if Dodge would have pushed that hard to put the 392 in the Challenger and then eventually the Hellcat 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi in the Challenger. So in a roundabout way, we can really thank that competition from the domestic muscle cars as to why Dodge made these cars so awesome in the first place. So that being said, let's break this comparison down. The LT1 6.2 liter V8 that comes in the Camaro has an aluminum block and aluminum heads. They come with 11.5 to 1 compression ratio and put out 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. The Camaro also weighs in at just a little over 3,600 pounds. Now the 5.7 Hemi and the Challenger RT comes with a cast iron block and aluminum heads. It has a 10.5 to 1 compression ratio, and stock they put out 375 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. Now I've upgraded my exhaust manifolds to long tube headers with high flow cats and upgraded the cam to an HRT Stage 2 cam from Comp Cams. Now when these races took place, I was on my first revision tune. So that's before I revised my tune for the phase lock that I put in the car. At that point, the car had dynoed 402 horsepower to the rear wheels. So just for comparison's sake, because the Camaro is rated at the crank, that is approximately 460 or so horsepower to the crank and 460 pound-feet of torque. As you guys know, the Challengers are heavy, weighing in at 4,100 pounds. They give up about 470 or so pounds to the Camaro. Now when we think Camaro SS versus a Challenger, it's always pitted against the Scat Pack with the 6.4 liter, 485 horsepower Hemi, just because that is the top offering of the naturally aspirated engines in the Challenger line, and it's the top offering of the naturally aspirated engines in the Camaro line. So it's not nearly as common a comparison to compare the Camaro SS versus the Challenger RT. Because stock for stock, the Camaro SS is a fair bit out of the Challenger RT's league. But with just 2 modifications, you can level that playing field. So at this particular track day, it was actually forecasting severe thunderstorm warnings. So right off the bat, barely anybody showed up for street legals that night. Now to top it off, it actually started raining, and even though there was probably only about 15 or 20 cars there, which is like nothing on a street legal night, usually there's hundreds, a lot of those cars ended up going home. So there was maybe only 10 cars that were remaining that stuck it out in the rain. Now it rained for about 10 minutes or so, sprinkled down on the track, and then the skies completely cleared up and it was sunny again. Now the track staff at Castro Raceway dried off the track, and then we were good to go. With only about 10 or so cars left, we pretty much had the track to ourselves for the next 3 or 4 hours, which was amazing. It was like a private track rental, but on a street legal night. Definitely something that never usually happens. Now, one thing that was very cool about that is I got to line up against the same Camaro lap after lap after lap. So it wasn't just one race, one fluky street race, or one fluky, I wasn't ready kind of race. We got to hot lap 3 times back to back to back, so we could definitively compare the cars pretty accurately, and you really get to see how they compare against each other. Now I will say I don't know as much about the LT1 that's in the Camaro, but I'm guessing because it's an all aluminum block and aluminum heads, it probably doesn't suffer as bad from heat soak as the cast iron block in the 5.7. Now there's no better way to compare the performance between 2 cars than a best of 3 series under ideal conditions as far as a prepped track surface and a tree, so that everything's equal, everything's fair, and you get the best possible launches if you can launch your car properly. That way, fair is fair, even is even. Really good way to compare the cars. So enough yakking on about that. Let's see how the 2 cars compared. All right, here we go. Put ourselves up against the Gen Camaro SS. Let's see how she goes. Alright. Got some heat in those tires. Let's see how she goes, fellas. Got him off the track. Got him. Woo! Nice. Okay, first race down, and it's 1-0 for the RT. You can really see in that clip how those 2 cars compare against each other. They're actually really evenly matched at that point. Like, you can see the Camaro in my rear view mirror that entire race, so you get a sense for how close and how much each car pulls on each other throughout that race. So it's a really good indication of how close these 2 cars are. It's a really close matchup. Okay, we are literally hot lapping and going right again against this Camaro SS. This should be a good race again. Straight up hot lap. All right, let's see what happens. Oh. Got him sleeping again. Oh, we beat him bad this time. We beat him real bad this time. Yeah, we caught him napping at the tree, and I think he spun. So slow off the start, and I don't think he got much traction on that one. On that rematch, he really wanted that one, I think. Now round 2 also goes to the Challenger. In this one, I lined up in the left lane with my camera still facing left, so unfortunately, you can't see the Camaro in the right lane, but if you could, and the camera was facing the right direction, you wouldn't have been able to see him anyways. I think he was really pushing after he lost that first race to really try to nail me out the launch, and I think he messed up his launch spun a whole bunch, and he was way, way behind me right off the hop as soon as that race started. So round 2 goes to the Challenger, 2-0 for the Mopar.
Ooh, that guy's cruising. Okay, hot lapping again, round 3 against the same Camaro SS. Let's see how we do against each other. All right, round 3. Can I get him 3 for 3? I bet you I can. Here we go. Treat him. Oh, it's close. Oh, I think he got me by a hair there. By like a fender. Not even a fender. Oh man. I think by the end his front tire passed. Oh, that was close.
Now in this third race, you see that I treed him again, got the jump on him off the start again, but this time he actually managed to pull up, and right at the last second, like I'm talking probably like literally the last foot, if you look at the footage, is when he just inched past me. And I bet you he only beat me by a foot or 2 feet. It was so close. So we'll give that one to the Camaro. Super close race, but the series has decided it's 2-1 for the Challenger RT. If you were wondering, if you throw a cam in your car and you throw some long tube headers, how competitive are you with the Scat Packs, with the Camaro SSs? Well, we answered that question today. You can absolutely beat Camaro SSs, even the 6th gen Camaro SSs with the 455 horsepower LT1s in them. You can absolutely beat them. It's pretty much a driver's race at that point. Anyways, guys, I wanted to end this by saying I have nothing but respect for the Camaros as well as the Mustangs, actually. Even though I'm a Mopar guy and I love the Challenger, Challenger is, I mean, let's be fair, it's pretty much been my obsession since I bought this car in 2009. I still have a lot of respect for those other muscle cars because, to be honest, when all 3 brands are doing really well, they all push each other, and to be honest, the winners of that scenario is everyone. We all win when all 3 of those brands are really competitive against each other and are putting out great cars. So nothing but respect for the Camaros and the Ford Mustangs. To be honest, they're all amazing cars, even though this guy bleeds Mopar blue. There you go, guys. That was a fun one today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know how you guys have done against the 6th gen Camaro SSs, or maybe you're a Camaro guy. You raced a bunch of 5.7s. I don't know, man. Leave me a comment. Let's chat about it down in the comments. And as always, guys, take care. We'll chat to you later.